Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about solar panels. There's certain things that you have to be aware of when you go out and buy your solar panels. Number one, there is no such thing as 100% efficiency panel. According to Google, the most efficient panel for 2022 is made by SunPower, and it puts out 22.6%. My panels are REC from Singapore, and they're at 21.6. Both of these panels are 400 watt panels. The hotter it gets, the worse your panel performs. Your solar panels have to breathe. I've seen a lot of videos where people have gone out and got flexible panels and they've glued them to the top of the van. Well, what you're doing is you're basically frying your panels from both sides, because the roof of that van gets hot, which heats up the bottom of the panel, the sun heats up the top of the panel, and the panel says thank you very much, and it just shorts out because it can't handle it. So make sure you have airflow underneath your panels. The other thing you have to watch is shading. You're going to have to do an awful lot of research before you buy your panel. Don't let some salesman turn around and tell you, oh, 175 watts, this is better than sex, and rah, rah, rah. Excuse me, hello? Okay? If your panel is shaded, depending on whose panel you buy, if you have 4 panels, let's say you have 4 50-watt panels, just to keep the numbers even, and they're sitting out in the sun, 3 of them are getting full sunshine and the 4th is only getting 50%, you don't get whatever, like 50 watts out of panel A, panel B, and panel C for a total of 150, and 25 out of panel D for a total of 175. No. Your panels are all hooked together, and that panel that's only getting 50% is pulling your entire string down to 50%. So you're not getting 200 watts. You're only getting 100, if that, depending on how bad that shade is on that one panel. The panels that I have are an Alpha series, and they won't do that. If my particular panel, any one of the 4 of them that I'm putting up on the roof, and I have 6, when I'm going to use 4, let's say it gets cut down, so only 50% of that panel is receiving the sun. What comes out, the output of that panel, is 50% of the output that panel is capable of putting out of, plus 100% of output from the panel that it's buddy, shall we say. I'm going to have 4 panels in 2 strings, left front, left rear, right front, right rear. So I could theoretically be getting 800 watts out of one line and let's say 600 watts out of the other. I will not have a string pulled down where I'm getting 800 watts in one string and 400 watts in another, because one of my 2 panels on the second string is being cut down in half. Make sure you do your research and make sure that you get yourself a decent set of panels. 21.6 is actually fairly good. Now, why am I running 4 panels? Well, I'm running 4 panels because my solar charge rate, I'm doing all of my calculations based on a 50% loss. Laboratory conditions are great for laboratories, but I don't know about you, but I live in the real world, and in the real world it just doesn't work that way. So if I turn around and say, okay, 4 panels will give me 1600 watts, divided by 2 is 8, I still should be ahead of the game. If you've only got a 175 watt panel up on top of your vehicle, you may be great in the sunshine. You may be great in cooler climates where you can actually get that to generate, but you get someplace where it's super warm. For example, if you're doing the Pan American Highway and you're running anywhere from Colombia to probably the lower California, Texas, Arizona, Nevada border, all through Mexico, you may not be getting 175 watts out of your panel. So make sure that you do your research. You've got to size your charge controller to your panels. Now, this is a Victron 150. The 50 is the amount of amps it'll take. The 100 is the amount of volts it'll take. I need to buy 2 of these. I have one obviously because I've got the box in my hand. By the way, I don't do unboxing videos. I think they're stupid. Each string is all this 100 amp panel can handle. My panel puts out 48.8 volts plus or minus 3%. So at super max efficiency, my charge controller may not even be able to handle 2 panels. Now what I mean by that is my panels will put out more jam than this thing. This will run at 100%, but I'm generating say 105%, so I'm losing stuff because it can't use it. Victron make very good stuff. I have the charge controller, I have the shunt, I'm buying another charge controller, and I'm also buying their battery charger, but that's another video. So I'm going to keep this short. I'll show you what I have and what I've got. I'm very happy with the panels that I have. Now with REC, there is a non-disclosure agreement that I had to sign in the paperwork that you see here that they sent. They send a lot of paperwork, and it's really, really well done, by the way. I've got a lot of praise for this. But in all the paperwork they send you, there is a non-disclosure agreement. It's on page 3, and you have to sign each page and send it back. And what they do is they give me my serial numbers, my part numbers, what they are. The VOCs here right now, the sticker on the back is a generic sticker, and it says 48.8 volts. Now, I have a piece of paper in my hand here, obviously. This particular solar panel, with its serial number, and it ends in 896, puts out 10.24 amps at 48.7235, right? 48.7235468 volts. Each panel has been individually tested. In each panel, they've told me exactly what to expect out of each panel. I am very impressed with what I've got from NEC. REC, I should say. Would I buy them again? Oh, on a heartbeat. If you're buying a pallet load, there's 33 panels in a pallet. They weigh about 50 pounds each. They're not too hard to manhandle. But if you live where I live, by 10 o'clock in the morning, if they're sitting outside in the sun, even if you have them covered with cardboard, because that's what you got to do, they're too darn hot to pick up. So make sure you wear gloves, don't burn yourself. These are really, really good panels. I've got nothing but praise for this company. Excellent to work with. Their communications are great. Everything arrived in one piece. And remember, I only bought 6. So I have like I say, a small order. They bent over backwards because nobody really likes to sell 1 or 2 panels unless you go to a big solar store that'll buy, a pallet loads in bulk, and then that's the way they sell them. They split them down to individual customers. So if you have a hard time finding somebody that will sell you a solar panel, you're not the only one. I had my heart set on a Trina Vertex 600. Why? Because of roof space. I was going to run this Trina Vertex 600 plus a Honey Max because that's all the roof space I had. So I want to get the most bang for the buck. I couldn't buy the 1 panels. Trina were more than happy to sell me a pallet load, but they wouldn't sell me just 1 because it wasn't worth their while. These guys bent over backwards and sold me 6. So if you're looking for panels, look up REC out of Singapore. Their build quality is very, very good. Now that the border's open, I hope to go to Singapore in the next couple of months, and I'm going to drop into the company if I can and say hi, maybe get a plant tour. But that's what you need to worry about when you're looking at your solar panels. You need to look at the best efficiency rating you can get. I say mine are 21.6. which is actually very good in the world of solar panel. Make sure your solar panels have airflow underneath them as well as over top of them. Make sure you can get a panel that can handle shading, because not all panels can. And make sure your charge controller is sized to your panels. So with that, I'll put up the videos that I shot on my phone as a tail end to this one, and you'll also get to take a good look at the technical information I've been reading from over on my computer, which is off camera. But with that, everybody have a great day. Thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe if you wish to. It doesn't cost you anything, but it certainly helps me out. And we will see you on the next one. And the next one will be battery chargers, and it'll be a short one. Thanks for watching. God bless. See you next time. This is the back of the NEC 405 watt solar panel. You can see the positive and negative hookups there, and the 25 amp fuse that's set in the middle. If you pull these covers off, this one or the fuse or the other side, you void the warranty. And here is the specs on this particular solar panel. Now I have this upside down because I'm getting ready to pack it. When they arrive in on a pallet like so. And if you can see in the corner here, they have these little white spacers that protect A to B to C. Now this is the way they come. They come stacked like this, and if you bought 100, you'd have 100 in a stack like this. Right now, I'm in the process, as I say, of getting these things ready to move. I have to lift each one up, and I'm going to be putting light foam over top of the panel to protect it. This is what the panel looks like. You can come down here and see the individual grids. Obviously, I've got a little bit of water on it. It's rained. The foam I just took off is wet, and these clean up very, very nicely with good old household dish detergent, and they clean really easily. I'll get back to a little more of this as soon as I clean this panel up, and I'll talk to you again in a few minutes. These are the little corner pieces I was talking about, and if you'll notice right here where my finger is, this little tab, there's a notch right there. It fits with the notch that you can't see. It's in the plastic in there, and when you put that in there, the notches line up, and that lines the corners up, and this is the way they come. So the next panel would be sitting right here where my finger's pointing. The next panel will be sitting on top of this, and then they stack them. I'm not too sure how many in a pallet. I forgot the number right now, but it's not important. I only have 6, but I'm going to tape this on so I don't lose it, and this will help hold and protect when the next panel goes up. I want to draw your attention to the cable here. You notice that the twist ties on the positive side are red, and they've got a brown or a black on the opposite side. That's how well they've packaged things up so you don't get them wrong. Now obviously the connectors are so you don't get them wrong, but that helps too. Let's tuck this away. As you can see, I'm getting this thing all packed up and getting ready for shipment to go into the shipping container.